LOL, I never got back to you about where Tulane is. Period. It's in New Orleans, Louisiana. Hello, everybody. How is everyone's Friday? Or whenever you're listening to this. This is your 10-minute sports report. I am your host, Captain Boyne. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Beginning of the podcast there, I was replying to my mom. Here's the deal. Sometimes I forget I'm a son and reply to my mother. She tried to guess over text message where Tulane University was, which in the last 10-minute sports report, I asked everyone to guess because I did not know until last year where Tulane was. And it is in, as you heard me tell her, Louisiana. New Orleans specifically. My uncle, Dr. Kev, you got it right. Ding, ding, ding. You're the winner. However, I know that you're smart, so I know that you didn't have to look this up, but I don't know if you did Google this. So if you did, shame on you. If you knew this, which I know you did, congratulations. So with that, this is the 10-minute sports report. Please, everyone, comment down below. It is college football tomorrow. NFL has started. Give me a team that you think will win the Super Bowl, or give me a team that you're hoping will win the Super Bowl. Dr. Kev, if you say the Cleveland Browns, just don't say that, okay? Can we just agree that that's probably just not going to happen? Literally pick any other team. The Arizona Cardinals have a better chance than Cleveland Browns because that's Cleveland. Am I right or am I right? Let's get into it. Well, the realignment drama kind of continues. There are two Pac-12 teams left in the Pac-12, or what is left of it. Oregon State and Washington State file complaint against Pac-12 seeking an emergency temporary restraining order to protect the schools, or what the schools see as an intimate, I don't know if I said that word right, probably not, an existential threat to the future of the conference. No doy. You don't have a conference. Everyone's left. It's just you two, buds. So you are technically correct. There's no threat, though. The threat has come, shot at shot, and is left dead. There's no threat. The threat is already passed. It has already happened. Okay? There's no threat of a tornado. The tornado's already come through the Pac-12, so you need to use different language. While the intent of exploring opportunities to sustain the Pac-12, the schools are asking for a board meeting of all 12 members Wednesday to be canceled for the legal clarity to be given on who has voting rights to control the future of the league. Basically, Oregon State, Washington State, they want to remain in the Pac-12 and try to recruit other schools, and they want to be the bearers. However, the 12 members that are still currently in the Pac-12 for the remaining of this school year until July 1st, 2024, still technically have voting rights. So Oregon State and Washington State are suing to get those voting rights back. So this is very interesting. Of course, we knew with the realignment that would come just legality upon legality upon legality upon legality. So am I shocked by this? No. Was I hoping that it wouldn't just be legality upon legality upon legality upon legality? Yeah, but I am a cynic at heart, or pessimist at heart, in everything except college football and Michigan. Then I am still a pessimist. The U.S. men's national basketball team is in some heat. They have not lost at the World Basketball Championship, the WBCs, or in the Olympics since 2004. From 2008 to 2006, and 2000 really, well, they didn't play 20. So from 2006 to whenever the last Olympics were, they have been dominant. Well, that old guard of LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, that old guard is gone. In sweeps the new guard, and in sweeps it comes the failures that it takes to build a cornerstone program / country, whatever you want to call it. When Team USA assembled its roster and decided on its game plan for the World Cup, it made a bet, and it was a sensible bet. And the Americans stacked the deck as much as they could to try to win, but reality was they entered knowing they left themselves exposed. That wager, this is all words from Brian Windhorst on ESPN, that wager, that size differential could overcome with other attributes. It has failed. Germany and another European team that towered over the Americans used the given advantage to beat Team USA 113-111 in the semifinals of the World Basketball Championship. It will deny the Americans gold in the event for a second consecutive time. They will settle for playing for bronze against Canada on Sunday. They will still make the Olympics, so there's no fear at that. But this really does leave them vulnerable in the next Olympics, something they have not really been vulnerable for quite some time. So there's a big overall story here, but also now America does not have the best basketball athletes, bar none. It is now, the world has definitely caught up, and it is now dead even. Good news, soundbite still working today. The NFL started last night with the defending Super Bowl champions playing at home, Kansas City Chiefs against the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions came away with a victory, a 21-20 victory. The Lions scored in the final minutes to give David Montgomery scored in the final minutes to give the Lions the win. Good news for me is I have David Montgomery on my fantasy team, so feeling pretty good about that. Story of the night, though, Patrick Mahomes, defending NFL MVP, was 21 of 39 for 226, 2 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. He had a QBR of 72.5. Here's the problem. His receiving core was not great. His receiving core, specifically Kadarius Toney, dropped a pass that led to an interception that led to a touchdown, a pick six actually, which they were winning 14-7 at that point. So that tied the game, and then a late touchdown by David Montgomery sealed it. So without Travis Kelce, the Kansas City receiving core is in some trouble. So stay tuned to that. Not time to panic anytime soon. Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes specifically is one of the best quarterbacks in all of baseball. Wow, all of football. This is terrible. However, let's go to the lowest salary teams in baseball. The Baltimore Orioles are not only one of the lowest salary teams in all of baseball, they're one of the best teams in all of baseball. They are 88-51, and they are on a 5-game winning streak. They swept the Angels 6-3, 5-4, 10-3, and they start a 3-game stand at Fenway and if they sweep the Red Sox, it would basically knock them out of playoff contention altogether. With 25 games remaining, they sit comfortably atop the AL East standings, 4 games ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays at 88-51. Speaking of those Rays, they won 2 in Boston and then lost last night to the Seattle Mariners 1-0. So they sit 4 games behind the Baltimore Orioles for first place in the AL East. However, they are atop of the AL wildcard, so they are no danger of missing the playoffs. The AL East, one of the toughest divisions in all of sports. The worst team are the New York Yankees, and they are 500 at 70-70. Then it's the Red Sox, 72-68. Blue Jays, 77-63. Rays, 85-56. And Orioles, 88-51. By the way, if they were in another division, any of these teams, they would all be making the playoffs comfortably. That's how good the AL East is. Check in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just so bad. I understand that most of my family, most of the people who listen to this 10-minute sports report are my family. I don't understand why. Okay, I really don't. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. Cincinnati Reds, who are on the verge of the playoffs, battling for that last wild card spot, beat the Mariners twice, then lost their final game. So they won 2 out of 3. They won 6-3, 7-6, and then lost 8-4. And they start a 3-game homestand against the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. The St. Louis Cardinals are the worst team in that division, not the worst team in baseball. So the Cincinnati Reds are 5.5 games back of the Milwaukee Brewers at 73-69. Let's look at the standings all together now, real quick. The Baltimore Orioles lead the American League East. Won't get into that. Twins are now comfortably ahead of the Cleveland Guardians by 6.5 games at 73-67. The Houston Astros are 7-3 in their last 10 and sit atop the AL West by a half game over the Seattle Mariners, and one of the hottest teams from the first half, the Texas Rangers, now sit 3 games back of the Houston Astros. In the National League, the best team in baseball, record-wise at least, the Atlanta Braves sit 14 games ahead of the Philadelphia Phillies. The Milwaukee Brewers sit 2 games ahead of the Cubs and 5.5 games ahead of the Reds in the Central. And then the Dodgers have a whopping 13-game lead. Come back to earth a little bit since that hot month of August. 5-5 in their last 10. 13 games over the Arizona Diamondbacks. But let's check in on the real fun real quick and then get you out of here. Tampa Bay Rays, 7.5 games up in the wild card. Again, no danger right now from not making the playoffs. Seattle Mariners, 2 games up on that final wild card spot, that third and final. The Blue Jays are a half game ahead of the Rangers and 5 games ahead of the Red Sox. So Red Sox, again, they're 3-7 in the last 10, lost 2 straight. Let's get rid of them. I'll start reporting on them. So it's down to the Rangers, the Blue Jays, and the Mariners at this point, competing for 2 of the last 3 wild card spots. NL quickly, it's a little more congested. Philadelphia Phillies sit 4.5 games ahead of the Chicago Cubs. That's all fine and dandy. We're good there. Phillies probably, unless barring a collapse, which wouldn't surprise me, they're good there. Cubs sit 2 games ahead of the Arizona Diamondbacks for that third and for that second wild card spot. And then Diamondbacks sit in that third wild card spot, followed by the Miami Marlins, 1 game behind. Cincinnati Reds, 1 game behind. San Francisco Giants, 1 game behind. The Giants are in dire straits right now. They've lost 6 straight, 3-7 in their last 10, and are on the verge of not getting off the pot and me not reporting on them at all. I call it the 10-minute sports report, and then I babble on and am terrible for 13 minutes. So I do apologize for that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, those who listen. Don't forget to listen to our most recent episode of the 4th and 1 podcast. It's awesome. Except for me, I get made fun of a lot. But, I'm always right. So it's good there. Enjoy your college football Saturday. Enjoy your NFL Sunday. Enjoy your weekend just all together if you're not a football fan, or don't. I'm not your dad. We do have sound bites today, so you don't have to, the last thing you don't have to hear is my voice, but you do have to hear this tacky music. So let's get that started. Wash your hands, you filthy animals. God bless you, and peace out.